Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you innovators for having us for this conversation. I think it's an interesting thing to share. I hope it will be valuable to you present here in session, but also to everyone who's watching this maybe later. Hans introduced us, but I would just like to invite you to just unmute your mic, come on mic with your questions, ask us to maybe clarify something or go in depth with some of the topics that we're going to cover, or you can just have your questions in the chat section. So I would just like to give a little bit of a context and a little bit of why ICT Hub and OTP. And for me, it's a great pleasure to have Nataša here with me, since it's one of the stakeholders from OTP since 2016 when we started to collaborate. I just have to give you a background on where we were as an ICT hub and what ICT hub is. And at that point, OTP Bank was not doing business in Serbia. It acquired Société Générale Bank, the French bank doing business in Serbia at that point. But for us, having this opportunity to work with OTP Bank was great opportunity to acquire major, let's say, stakeholder in the innovation ecosystem, a corporate, the first corporation we started to work with as a Center for Technology, Entrepreneurship and Innovation. So we started to do our work in the late 2014. We were basically a business incubator supporting startup, organizing different events and formats that will empower startup ecosystem. And today, with, of course, working with OTP and many other stakeholders within the innovation ecosystem, we grew to doing a lot of activities that are empowering the innovation ecosystem here in Serbia, but also throughout the region of the Balkan. So just a few words about company I come from. We're doing our activities in, let's say, 4 pillars. The one that's doing the most impactful work for the innovation ecosystem in general is implementing major projects that are funded by different donors, basically development agencies from US or Switzerland and so on. And that's, let's say, those are kind of larger impact activities that we are doing in that way, addressing a broader scope and broader size of different actors in the innovation ecosystem. Of course, startups are the innovation ecosystem stakeholders that are with us since the beginning, and we are always there to support them in different stages of their development. We also have investment fund that's investing in startups, and we are soon to launch a new one. We have a couple of co-working spaces and doing a lot of community building events and activities. And as I mentioned, in 2016, we were not thinking about corporate innovation or having something that's consultancy part of the business for the corporate innovation. We were approached by OTP, that is Société Générale Bank in Serbia. At that point, they were very curious about what does local innovation and tech and startup ecosystem has to offer. They were looking from rejuvenate the culture to support with through some CSR activities, just development of the digital economy in the Serbia, but also to really much take a look into what kind of solutions startups are working or innovative companies are working, and do some of those solutions have something that's needed for the bank itself or for the clients, whether they're retail or corporate clients for the bank. So for us, that meant a whole development of activities and supporting services that we are providing, from let's get you an innovation strategy to let's work on building some new products and ventures. Let's do a lot of training, education, changing the culture, but also making the business impact. 30 of people doing a lot of things, and a whole great network of associates and partners for this story. Regarding the open innovation ecosystem, I was just talking to Max. For us at the very beginning was just all about open innovation and engaging corporates with startup ecosystems. So today, we are fortunate that we can support corporates throughout their entire journey from let's just get to know what is out there, especially if we focus to startup ecosystem, what kind of startups are in the ecosystem, what kind of technologies they're working on, and so on. Let's get you on what's important for your company regarding innovation, especially how you can open your innovation processes to achieve business goals or other agendas that are relevant for you. So getting from strategy to how to position yourself and communicate well within the ecosystem in general, to let's hire some programs and initiatives to achieve desired outcomes for us as a company. And again, support you in designing and delivering on expected results through different infrastructures that are needed for the corporates to collaborate with startups, with universities, with other stakeholders in the innovation ecosystem. Just a little bit of a context. Over the past 9 years, that is, we worked with a lot of companies that are maybe familiar to you from the logos here, but most of them are companies that are doing business in Serbia or the Balkan regions. Those are companies that are mostly not with their HQs in these markets. So it is kind of a specific situation where sometimes it's a great place not to be in the HQ and have the freedom to experiment and to maybe be a first mover in certain things that are not implemented still on a group level. You have that freedom. You have those possibilities of being small and maybe just trying out new things faster than somewhere in the HQ. But also on the other side, you are part of the group, and sometimes a group has a specific plans or a roadmap for certain development of the activities and projects and initiatives on its own. So it's a bottom up, but also top down approach for the corporates. So we're kind of in the middle of balancing all of those agendas and, of course, building what is needed for the innovation ecosystem and for the digital economy in general here for the Serbia specifically. I will just give now mic to Nataša to share a little bit more about OTP Bank, just to give you an understanding on what is OTP Bank doing in Serbia, and then on the group level. And back in 2016, it was not OTP, it was Societe Generale, but just whole story about where we are today. I think the past from the 2016 and that evolution, it's quite relevant.
Thank you, Sandra, and hi again. So Sandra already mentioned that we approached to ICT Hub as a Societe Generale, and I was fortunate enough to be part of that team also then. For me, it is really a great opportunity since the bank locally and also globally is oriented pretty much to innovation. So locally, we established the team 2 years ago, which is really with the goal and agenda to really bring innovation to its point. So it's a great place to be. But just to have you to give you a little bit of an overview about us. So we are the result of most complex integration on our region few years now. So we have the OTP Bank Serbia, I think from 2021. And we are really market leader in various fields. We have a great loan portfolio. We are the leading in the loans in corporate and retails. We are also leading in the factoring, leasing, and e-commerce activities. So it's a great position to be somebody on the market who can move market a bit further. Also last year, the World Renewed magazines such as Euromoney and The Banker declared OTP Bank as the best bank in Serbia. So those are the awards which are given to financial institutions that provide clients with the highest level of service, innovation, and expertise. So this is also an important point. In addition, also Global Finance declared our bank as the best bank for FX business in Serbia also last year. So I think that it says a bit about the operations and also the services that we are offering to our clients. So maybe a bit about the group. Group is headquartered in Hungary. It is practically the fastest growing banking groups in Central and Eastern Europe. It's working practically towards the helping development of Central and Eastern European region to become also the continent growth engine, meaning that bank is really somehow have on the agenda to really become a relevant part of the economy in this part of Europe. We have more than 40,000 employees in 12 countries, and we provide universal services in each entity. So all entities are practically universal, and we are serving around 18 million customers. Yeah. So regarding the innovation, as I said, the bank is really oriented towards innovation. So we have a OTP Lab as a group hub for the innovation. They are partnering with the region's leading fintech companies and have made really considerable progress in building beyond banking ecosystems. Since I think that we have a goal to become successful fintech company at the end. So this is at the bottom of all these innovation activities that we are performing. OTP Lab is among the world's best innovation hubs. They are officially awarded also 3 times by Global Finance magazine as the best financial innovation hub. Within the framework of the OTP Lab is the OTP Startup Partner Program. And in this program, we established the cooperation with more than 1,000 startups, and 45 of them are great project and really part of our banking services now. This OTP Startup Partner Program is a 12-week intensive program, just to explain a bit how does it work. And they're primarily open to startups with validated products or to scale-ups. And they're giving practically the opportunity for them to develop cooperation within the OTP Bank. So we, as the employees of the OTP group, are working with them in perfecting their products and expanding their business opportunities further in our local entities. They can also receive some kind of investment, since Portfolio as a venture capital fund is also part of the OTP group. Yeah, so this is it about the bank. Maybe we can go on on the next slide. So meet OTP Connect. Yeah, this is the local initiative. So here we wanted to somehow bring the structure to our cooperation with the startup community and tech community here in Serbia. Sandra gave a good overview about a lot of things, and we will enter further also on the following slides about all the initiatives that we have up till now. But since everything is growing and also our market is growing, and we have a lot of startup and tech companies which have some interesting products for the bank or for the bank clients, we were trying to find a way how we can structure this cooperation a bit more in order to fasten things up, and also to have the good experience inside of the bank, but also outside of the bank. Currently, it can happen without the program. It can happen that some startup reach to somebody, or maybe send a pitch deck, and then we don't know what happened to that pitch deck. It depends from the people who they send it to. So somehow someone will do something, and somebody will just forget about the email. So we were trying to solve also these things in order to really have the local hub with the complete overview about the market and about the opportunities that we can bring to the bank or to the bank clients. Sandra, will you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nataša mentioned that in that 2016, she was there as well as myself. So we are like two people not last standing on what really happened when OTP Bank just explored and entered to explore ecosystem. But it was a really great experience to be approached at that point as a startup support organization in a small market by a corporation that's just interested in learning more about startup ecosystem, about what kind of tech and IT communities are there and how they can collaborate, and was really open about let's just meet and see what are the opportunities, and let's not have even in this collaboration very strict agenda. Okay, we will have some, let's say, a budget limits, but in that term, let's not have the strict agenda on what we are trying to accomplish. We don't know as a bank, or we don't know as an ICT hub, what's the right fit for you, and what that discovery process, and especially in the first couple of years, can bring to both sides. So from the very beginning, I must say that great people from all banking departments were very much involved in all of the conversations and workshops and different brainstorming sessions that we had. People from marketing, from product, from heading corporate and business and retail side of the business. Also, HR was really much involved. So it all got us to let's understand better the local startup ecosystem, local technology companies and innovation companies that are doing solutions that could potentially be beneficial to our clients or to the bank itself. So for us, that meant that we can start with meetups and start to learn more about, let's say, fintech community. Is it there? How we can support it? Can we help some kind of in some way to speed up the development of that community? Let's explore what kind of viewpoint innovative companies have on what can be improved in the banking arena. So we organized hackathons. I think in the first couple of years, each year was dedicated to one hackathon based on I don't know, data challenges or challenges that we did in collaboration with MasterCard or KPMG or some other company, where we were just exploring like new solutions that were later on, some of them implemented with the bank. That also meant that we should expose people throughout the bank to the local ecosystem, and we established a mentorship program where a lot of subject matter experts from the bank were at disposal to startup founders to help them level up some of their expertise and gain better understanding of how financial sector is working and how they can promote their solutions in the financial arena better. And I think each year meant for us a new milestone in exploring and a better understanding on how we can collaborate, but also how bank can really be a true partner for the innovation ecosystem. We were fortunate enough really soon at the very, let's say, beginning of a collaboration to introduce bank to, I think, very valuable startup for the bank mindset around innovation. In 2017, they were introduced to a startup that was building a digital solution for freelancers, from lump sum entrepreneurs. And that was really much needed for the small business side of the bank at that point, that kind of solution. But they also discovered that together in discovering and getting to know much more better issues and pain points for the small businesses they were addressing with this solution, they can discover a lot more around new products and features that can be developed and placed to small businesses. So this was also a great milestone for the bank to develop and co-develop, that is, a first financial service, new financial service for small businesses. Later on, that meant the first opening of API for the bank in the market. We are not part of EU. We are not under PSD2. directive. So it's not mandatory to open your data in any way, but the bank did it back in 2018 because it was beneficial for the users and for the bank, for the clients and for the bank itself. To speed up the process, I think within the acquisition from the OTP Bank, we got a lot more boost from what was happening in the group. So we supported the implementation of the group startup program. We kicked off another great initiative that was more of a CSR activity. It's called Generator. It's a competition where startups or innovative SMEs or green technology companies can apply to get some training, education, but also reward if they're really doing the best they can and having the greatest impact in the business arena where they're in. So that's kind of a tradition for the bank now over the last 6 years. And another case that Nataša will share later on was also introducing more, I'd say, product development studios into working with bank. One of those collaborations led to co-creating an internal product for the bank, which now can be considered as I'd say a separate company, but a startup that's ready to take on the world independently from the bank. And fast forward to 2023, I think between 2020 and 2023, Nataša maybe can share more about that period because it was time of acquisition and then integration. And we did less of open innovation activities, but more on the inside activities for the bank in terms of it's not let's build a new culture, but it was difficult to, let's say, bring these two cultures together and having these new values around customer centricity, around innovation, around collaboration was very much time where we focused to build those capabilities and capacities within the bank. We did a lot of training, workshops, education, a lot of new value propositions were developed, waiting for the integration to end so they can be marketed later on. And at that point as well, innovation department was established, and we were quite fortunate to have Nataša as a stakeholder there because she's been from this story from the very beginning. She's very data-driven person, a great understanding of what technology can bring, but also a great understanding what is bank and how can banking become something that's really technology enabled and very beneficial for the clients at the end of the day. And as Nataša mentioned, we were thinking about how to now, empowered by all the experiences we have and all the learnings and insights, how we can continue on journey in let's say more smarter way and establishing something that's going to solve a lot of pain points that we pinpoint along the way. Just to share some of the learnings and insights, I'll be very brief on that and share to Nataša to tell you a lot more about OTP Connect. OTP Bank at that point was really the first corporate that was doing anything in the innovation ecosystem. So having that first mover advantage was a really advantage for the bank to understand what is needed for the startups, for different stakeholders in the innovation ecosystem, and developing those really good value propositions and hiring different programs and activities to help us deliver on that value proposition was not a difficult task. We have also learned together that doing collaboration is all about trust and building that trust and maintaining good communication and those good relationships. So it was a really, I'd say, always human to human, but now we're trying to do that at scale with OTP Connect. So that was something that we learned from the beginning. I think those were some of our joint core values from the very beginning. We realized also that we want to show some results soon and make things happen, not just for the bank, but also for the startups. We understood that creating value for the both sides has to be happening all the time. And we also realized that maybe in theory is the last tool you will use if you want to change the culture and the mindset of the people working inside the corporates to, let's say, open your innovation process and collaborate with startups. But actually it was quite helpful to have a lot of people and that core group of managers at the very beginning exposed to those new experiences so they can share that and transfer that energy throughout the company. Nataša mentioned we learned a lot about maintaining those trusts means that we need to be fast, we need to be a reliable partner, we need to be very responsive. So building some kind of unique collaboration experience, who we are as a collaborator, as an OTP was needed. We need to have process in place so we can make these collaborations and network at speed. We always wanted to be as a part of the community and build a community, both ICT Hub and OTP. So now developing a specific, closer community around OTP is something that we are looking for. And focusing on solving real challenges for the bank, but also for the innovation ecosystem stakeholder is something that we're going for. And we also learned that no matter what use cases or problems that we can map or opportunities of technology we can use, we need to always be open to the possibilities and opportunities that are just presenting to us, to the startups and the bank, and of course for us as a hub. So we need to stay open there to explore those new, and we will figure out the model of how it's all going to work, but not just eliminating something because we haven't done it or we cannot figure out how to do it. That is not quite an option that's on the table here. And Nataša now will share more around OTP, and maybe Nataša, we can share later on. I will interrupt you with a question that we have here in the chat. Maybe just to from Mattia, before you start to address a question, what are the best practices you would recommend to build a strong community? I think being consistent. It depends really on what you are trying to, and what are you trying to achieve, and how you're trying to position yourself within that community. But I think consistency is the first principle. You have to be out there with good intentions, and you have to be consistent. Sometimes it's just going to events where startups or innovative companies are going and being there with your representatives. Sometimes it's inviting them to come to your events and collaborating with those startup supporting organizations such as ICT Hub and other organizations that are present. But having those conversations or why we are there, what we are trying to achieve, what kind of problems we're trying to solve for us as a company, but also what other interests we are having in this economy, in this ecosystem, will open a lot of doors towards the initiative that I think anyone can bring to the table. I think it's really important for, and Nataša can confirm that, to be very open to always share the network of the organizations and associations you're working with. It takes a lot of time. It takes a dedication and a few people, of course, to be present and networked into everything that's happening. But I can repeat again that being consistent with your intention to be part of that ecosystem means that you need to be there, you need to listen, you need to discover how you can help and what kind of challenges you can address and solve for your company by being present there. Mattia, happy to follow up on that maybe later on.
I can maybe, I can maybe add, sorry, Sandra, I interrupted you. I didn't saw that you
Please.
Yeah. I can maybe just add that, for example, when we launched the OTP Connect and we have a great event of kickoff with the startups, the best feedback that I received was that people said that they really felt that we are meaning it, that we are really there, and that we are not like some facade, but they see that something is behind, that we really want to establish some kind of cooperation and give the support. So this is like in terms of this consistency that Sandra already mentioned, when they see that there is a real commitment from the other side, then I think that everything is working like it should.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Sandra, do we want to address the second question now or later?
Maybe you can catch on that one once you approach maybe a little bit more about the OTP Connect and the program behind it.
Okay, agreed. So OTP Connect, as I said briefly, is the program where we want to establish cooperation in the new and structured way. We are working a lot, as you saw at the beginning with Sandra present the roadmap that from the start until now. So we are cooperating a lot, but we needed some kind of a structure which can level up these cooperations that we have and push them on some next level. Also, for us, the motivation is disrupt or be disrupted. Usually, in my presentations, I have some kind of punchline where everybody is just staring at me and thinking how you can say that. But for me, really, innovation is disrupt or be disrupted. So if we want to be the best or no, so it's pretty easy to somehow decide. So innovation is not, for me, it's not a choice, but it's really mandatory on the market now and also in our industry. So for us, I think that this is the 5 main things. We want to be innovative and to gain new ideas externally, since on the market is really, there is a lot of dynamics and there are a lot of good ideas, and we wanted to have the way how we can approach to this community and to somehow motivate them to push any idea that they see as good for us, to push it to our channels, so not to waste any opportunity on the market. Also, we wanted to have innovation in our DNA, so practically to establish some kind of streamline culture, since as you already know, we are the merged bank between the 2 great banks in Serbia, both with completely different culture and in terms of innovation in completely different level. Since we in Societe Generale, this part of the bank started 2016, and for the other bank, it was maybe some kind of a new thing. So we need to establish some good practices inside of the bank. Also, we wanted to give our customers new value and to innovate our brand, since also as we are the merged bank, those banks were really completely different, also not in the internal processes, but also in the services that they were offering to the clients. So we needed somehow to innovate our brand and to make it as something completely new, especially because OTP Bank was not so well known on Serbian market, but the 2 banks separately were well known. So Societe has customers for the Societe, and it was well known among those kind of the customers. It was like some kind of the privileged bank in the Serbian market, and the Voban, which is other bank, were practically pretty active in some part of the Serbia and with other customer segments. So we needed to align it a bit. Also, the main thing that we want to do is to gain new revenue streams. So through expansion of these new streams and maybe in co-creating solutions with the startup or tech community, we wanted to also make this process streamlined, that we have also some structures which can support co-creations and revenue sharing of revenue streams in the future. Also, we wanted to increase internal competencies and adopt new technologies, since banking is traditional industry. We have a lot of legacy solutions. We have a lot of people who work on some maybe old or outdated technologies. So we wanted to somehow to expose them also to something new, which is ongoing on the market, and in that way to speed up their further development. So the thing how we will do it is to set up the 3 programs inside of the OTP Connect. So practically to start with a structured way of open innovation model. We wanted to open new frontiers and build new possibilities through it. So the OTP Connect consists of the 3 programs, as I said. The first one is R&D zone. So here we wanted really to have some kind of pool of the resources from the market who are interested in doing some kind of proof of concept pilots with us. And what we are expecting is to have co-creations on place, and maybe, as I said, some shared revenue streams, or maybe even venture building. So this is the R&D zone. And as Sandra said, we were not so active during the integration and stabilization afterwards on the market in terms of open innovation, but we were really active in terms of closed innovation. So as I said, we wanted to align all the people employed in the new bank, but also since we gain good results, we have a lot of ideas which we have in the pool, and we wanted to have some R&D which can give us the possibility to really implement them. Since there are a lot of ideas, they are good ideas, but internal resources are occupied with ongoing projects. So we wanted to be fast, to utilize some external resources. The second program in OTP is in OTP Connect is Beyond Banking program. Here we are calling startups and tech companies to pitch their solutions to us. We have some strategic areas you will see on the following slides, but we are calling them to pitch practically the solutions for the bank internally or for our customers. So anything which can be in line with the strategic areas that we defined. Also here in Beyond Banking, we have startup tech company challenges. So we will launch the challenge as some kind of the competition. We will launch challenge where we will call them to submit all the solutions that they have on this challenge. They will go through a few weeks of this assessment, and after the final confirmation of the winner of the challenge, they will gain the implementation in the bank. The third program is a partner program, and in this program we want to really set ourselves as a partner on the community. Here we want to support this community through various programs. Currently we have expert support, so for sure they can reach to any of the domain experts that we have in the bank. We also establish one financial accelerator called FinSights, and this is really, really good, and really I have good feedback about it, because we have a lot of accelerations and incubations in Serbia, but none of them are tackling this kind of the program. So they have a financial acceleration in maybe 1 or 2 sessions, but here we have really complete program which is dedicated to their financial acceleration, meaning that they will learn how to run their business, to make the business model, to prepare themselves for investment. So anything that they need to know in order to run successful business. Also here we are setting up of DNA assessment, meaning that they will have the opportunity to assess their teams and to see what are the strengths and what are the threats for some startup and to see which things they need to improve in order to really succeed. So this partner program will broaden even more in following weeks, since we are also receiving a lot of the partner initiatives. So a lot of companies want to partner with us, and they see that this kind of ecosystem approach, not only by the bank but also by some other relevant stakeholders from the market, can bring real value to startups and to tech community. So in short, okay. What we want to do is for us to gain the new ideas, to bring to our customers some kind of new possibilities, not to be only the bank, but also to be partner, meaning that we want to fulfill also some life and business needs, not only banking needs. So this is the reason why we are calling the startups also for this part, and we are trying to really make some marketplace for our customers where they can choose, okay, I need current account and loan, but I also need applications for running my business, for example. Okay, this is like a print screen from our platform. So as I said, okay, we want to call them to submit the startup product, to report solution to our challenge, or to become part of our R&D zone. Okay. Yeah, I'll already discuss a bit about the FinSight. This is like financial acceleration, where we want to support them to fulfill the possibility that they have. We have a lot of startup and tech companies which really have a good product and a great team, but they don't know how to run the business. Sandra can maybe add something. I think that we currently have one startup on our market, which is a great startup, but they are facing a bit of challenges because they didn't plan their funds as they should. So this is, for example, the great program for them. And as a DNA, as I said, this DNA will be also part of our assessment, which startup we want to have in our system, and especially for the startups who will be promoted to our customers. So this is going to be a part of this assessment also. Do we want or don't to work with this startup? And this is interprenual DNA report, and it includes detailed analysis of strengths and weaknesses across 25 dimensions of the entrepreneurship skills.
Nataša, maybe now we can go to question from Sarah, and she asked somewhere at the beginning, how long does a startup typically stay in your program? So maybe just around the program, the concept itself, and maybe we can clarify. And Sarah, if you can come in, is it a startup that's looking to collaborate for, let's say, distribution or marketing possibilities for the bank, or co-development? As you've seen, there are kind of three pillars of work in startups and innovation companies, how they can be engaged with the bank.
Yeah, I was thinking about the hub that they were talking about initially. So that is it the ITC hub?
Yeah, it is a different program. In our HQ, we have this OTP lab program called OTP Startup Booster program. And it is limited because they are scheduling the challenge once per year. Then startups apply, they're matched the startups with the specific ideas. They enter in 12-week program. And afterwards, we have the pilot phase, and afterwards it's decided if the startup will roll out on production or not. So there are time limitations, but in OTP Connect we don't have this kind of limitation. So we're only in the challenge, when we will launch the challenge on the market, we need to have some time to collect the ideas and then to have the assessment. But for all other programs, it is open, always on call. So they will not have this limitation. And if they enter in our program and in our system, we hope to have them, as much as possible. So yeah, it's not like a time-limited project.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. And maybe, Nataša, we can just speed up over a couple of examples of what we want to see more in the future, thanks to OTP Connect, but it's building on the experiences you had in the past of doing some really great collaborative things with startups and development studios.
Yeah. Okay. For R&D zone, good example is one startup with which we worked 5 years ago, I think, or maybe 6. It is a 30 Hills startup. This is the name of the company. The cooperation started as Sandra, I think, mentioned also. Then we also started to work with ICT Hub, and I think the 30 Hills was. I think that we connected through the ICT Hub, as I remember, and we had the idea to have some kind of the dashboard for the customers. So it's pretty small development, but then this application really gained a lot of acceleration, and now it is. I can say maybe even the best application in the group in terms of OTS. So this Elvis is customer satisfaction platform. Here we are collecting various inputs from the customers and somehow crunch the data and gain new insights in which experiences we need to work on more in order to get the best results and to improve the customer experience that customers are having. Now we are also thinking about launching this application to other entities, and it is really a great example for R&D zone. Also, 30 Hills is now part of our R&D zone, so I think that we will complete not complete, but continue some kind of the development with them also in the future period. This is a good example, and I think that I hope that we will have more to come. Okay, we also mentioned this Synchro. It is also the local startup. It is a good example for a startup collaboration story. Okay, we wanted to find a solution on the market which can help us to fulfill the needs of specific segment which was actual on our market 4 years ago. And we were fortunate enough also to stumble upon Paušal in ICT Hub and to start to cooperate with them. And it's a great thing because they had a product. So this is like a good example for our Submit Your Startup Product program in OTP Connect. But it was also great that they didn't just enter with the solution, but they also entered with good market research. So they gain us great insights about the specific customer segment, and we were really leaders in this part. I think that at the time being, 80% of these customer segments were really operating through OTP Bank. Thankful for Synchro and with Paušal collaboration. So this is also a great example for this part. Okay, yeah, regarding OTP ecosystem, maybe just to wrap up a bit, for clients, they will have the access to solutions for their life business needs. So this is our goal. And also to have a bank as reliable beyond banking partner, not only the bank. For the bank, we want to have partnership and improve the offer, client acquisition and retention, because this is also a game changer for our relationships with customers, shared revenue with partners, and modernization of our internal processes and applications. And also, as I mentioned, R&D resources, since we have a great list of projects internally and all our resources are there. For the partners, for the startups and tech community who will be part of OTP Connect, they will have cooperation with stable and reliable partner and recognizable brand on the banking market. They will have the access to new opportunities expertise for the development of their solutions, access to financial education, access to our customer base. And for our employees, they will be exposed to external talents. They will have the insights in the new technologies and emerging trends, and they will be building a better understanding of needs and opportunities on the market. So we already see this switch, even if we have 1 month, just 1 month period after the launching of OTP Connect. I already can see some changes in interest rising in the bank.
Would you like us to share now maybe some of the recent examples of collaborating with startups that are, let's say, related to OTP Connect?
Maybe
interesting
it's
news stories.
Yes. Okay, this is also part of the Apply Your Startup Product program. We have Inclusion Protocol. Inclusio is a great application for people with disabilities, and it was a great thing because it's really a startup. They didn't have real users, just the test users, but they entered in our system, and now we have it in all our branches, and hopefully this cooperation will prolong. Currently we are in the piloting period, but it's really, it's a young startup, but they are really committed to this goal. And I think that they will succeed for sure. And I think that we will continue with the cooperation. And for Protocol, for example, they are addressing needs of small business and SMEs. And they are practically offering the platform on which you can choose what kind of the business process you want to automatize, and to have this enterprise resource planning tool practically in your hands. And we are offering that to our small business customers. Currently, we have good results, and hopefully we will also continue with the cooperation with them. We met them also in ICT Hub, so it is an interesting thing.
Maybe to follow up on that, Matthias' question on building the community. 2 years ago, we started eager to have more events in person, this kind of a matchmaking event and, let's say, a learning platform for corporates and startups, how they can work with each other, how they can matchmake. So it is a series of events where you have some panels and topic discussions and different breakout sessions on topics where startups are learning corporates and corporates are learning startups. But at the end of the day, it's about matchmaking and speed dating, and we're facilitating that. So OTP was always part of those events, sponsoring those events, having their representatives on speed dates and in different learning session rooms, as we call them there. So it's I think Nataša can say for herself, I think every couple of months an experience for part of the bank to come and meet some new talented, innovative people, and then continue conversation after the events.
Yes, for sure. We have a lot of examples, but those two are maybe the fresh ones, and we can share them. But we have really a lot of examples, and it's a great thing to do, because then people are committed to the conversations, and it's a really structured program. So we gain good opportunities after it, and every start me up. This is the name.
Yeah. And maybe we can just share a little bit, not strictly the selection process for the startup, but the process behind the platform and behind the OTP Connect, since we emphasize that we want to have conversation and doing things at speed and with responsiveness on the bank side and so on. So maybe you can share a little bit around the process and infrastructure behind the platform.
Okay, so first, application. We need to have the application and also DNA entrepreneurs test, as I mentioned. Afterwards, we are evaluating these applications for R&D zone. We are looking especially about the team and the expertise of the team, since they will work on co-creations with us. For Beyond Banking program, we are evaluating team applicability and feasibility. So even if they enter in our system or we are promoting them to our customers, it is important to see if they can really carry this kind of implementations. And for partner program, we are evaluating plan and potential for growth. So we will invest if there is a potential for sure, our time, money, or whatever is the part of our support. We are also assessing proof of desirability, innovation, and usability. Afterwards, we are calling the startups who go through this process of the reviewing of application successfully. We are calling them to startup pitch session and to startup demo session. So then, if, for example, they are good for some segment of the customers or they are good for some segment of the bank, we are calling people from the bank who work on those segments to be part of this event in order to see the startup by themselves and to be able to ask questions and to start to answer the expert questions that we defined. Afterwards, we have the final selection, completion of assessment, checklist for the startup or tech company, and then we are communicating a final result. So this is shortly the process. Beside all these points, we have a large list of questions on which we are practically giving the points for all the startups.
And I think at the end, we can just share a little bit more about the plans and something that's going to be relative for the next year. As you saw from those couple of screenshots from the platform itself, currently startups can apply for different programs that can support their different needs and opportunities, working with banks like education and DNA assessment, but also to submit their application to assess their product and how it can be relevant for the bank or the clients. But R&D zone and challenges are something it's going to be built up. So maybe Nataša, you can share there a little bit more about what's ahead for 2024 and 25 maybe.
Mm-hmm. Okay, for 2024, we are looking to really launch the specific challenges part because we wanted to set up the program and to build the interest for the program on the market, and then afterwards to push the first challenge. So we will start with specific challenges and also beyond banking offerings to our customers. So since we start 1 month ago, we are now collecting all the startups that are interested in this kind of cooperation, and we need some time to evaluate everything and to make the contracts and whatever is needed in order to define the relationship with a specific startup. And into 2024, we will start with promoting the specific solutions to our customers. Also, for the next year, we are planning a sandbox. So now we are working on integration layer, which is going to be also available on the platform where startup can go and in sandbox try the integrations with our systems, depending on the subject on which they have the solution or product. So they will have a lot of APIs which they can use for testing purposes. And in 2025, we are looking at the venture building. Hopefully, R&D will then be at the large scale, and we will have a lot of startups or teams with which we want to enter in some kind of co-creations. So we are looking in developing of the venture building further in the 2025. This is shortly.
And I think it's the perfect time to extend this session a little bit for a couple of more minutes. If you have any more questions, or you want to discover more, learn anything else from what we shared from our experiences since 2016, not only relevant for this OTP Connect, but feel free to have your questions now and reach out after the session, definitely.
Sandra, would you allow me to ask a question? I have one, actually.
Sure.
Nataša, thank you, and both for sharing this journey. Quite some steps taken. It seems like there's quite some steps still to be made. How do you measure success, and also does that measurement different for maybe different stakeholders within and maybe outside the business? So, what are your success measurements?
For now, we are not so strict about the KPIs, even though we had that question from the management side when we promoted OTP Connect as the new program. But we somehow define that currently we want really to gain good reach to our market. This is the first thing. And for sure to have acquisitions and retentions in good manner. So since we want somehow to push all the good products to our customers, we are looking at decreasing the retention and increasing the acquisition. So for example, you saw the Inclusio have CSR momentum, but also they have good acquisition tools, since we have a lot of customers with the salary on our market which has some kind of disability, and they don't go to branches often. So we are looking at some kind of KPIs from the pilot that we are working with them. Also for protocol, the same thing. We are pushing them to new small business and SMEs customers, and we are looking in increasing the acquisition rate with this new setup. So for the apply your startup product, it's pretty simple since there are numbers, but for R&D, it's not so strict. We have a lot of ideas internally, and we want to have them prioritized, and afterwards to try to push them on R&D and to see what will happen. So we have some time, we have some budget to play a bit, and it is a good approach because we don't have this kind of experiments on our market, and we don't have other companies which are working something similar. So yeah, we received some kind of the credit in advance, to see how it will work, and then to establish some kind of strict KPIs for the program.